Well, hello everyone, welcome back into the Long Dark. It's been a while once again. I only post very frequently these days. I think, as I said in the last video, I have a small child. It makes it very difficult to do this, but I have a little bit of a window, and we have just had the announcement of the next major update to the Long Dark, which will bring out the next part of the DLC here in 2023. So we're going to be getting the mine region as part of that DLC. So what I wanted to do was make my way across to the Far Territories ready for that update when it hits. Again, I don't think we've got an exact date yet, but right now it's the 1st of October when I'm recording this, so I have no idea when I'm going to get around to actually publishing it. You never know, it might even have hit by the time I do. But I don't know when it's actually going to hit, so I want to be over in the Far Territories ready, because as you might be able to tell, or possibly not since I am in a fairly generic cave, I am not in the Far Territories. In fact, I can tell you where I am. I'm in Mountain Town. Mountain Town is where I am. So I'm in the cave here. This is the cave that I'm in, which is the one by the radio tower, just up above. Well, this is the Grey Mother's house. This Milton house here, I'm pretty sure is the Grey Mother's house, or if not, it's just here. I haven't really bothered filling the map in, as you can probably see. But that's where I am, so I've got to get myself back over to the Far Territories, and it is a little bit of a trek from here. But as you can see, I've got a pretty sizable base established here in Mountain Town, and I've got an even bigger one established at Camp Office in Mystery Lake. So just to give you some stats as to where I am in this particular playthrough, I am on day 286. So this is 286 of a run that was intended to just be a little bit of a stalker test run. This is stalker mode. A bit of a stalker test run for Forsaken Airfield, just to have a go. But it actually, I ended up surviving for 100 days there. So I just kept it going. And I ended up coming back, and I've been here for a little bit longer. So I haven't actually played the Long Dark for about 2 months. From the point where I'm recording this, it's been about 2 months since I've played it. Because children and Hogwarts Legacy, I'm not going to lie, that's where my time's been going. But we're here, we're back, and we're going to have a go at getting ourselves over to the Far to the Far Territories. I don't know how long this is going to take. This video is probably going to end up being edited. I'm also very conscious that I'm waffling, so if we'll crack on. But come for a walk with me. We're going to head over to Mystery Lake initially, and that might be where I end this video, depending on how long it takes, and then over to the Far Territories, which I might do as a part 2 if it takes a bit longer. So, as you can see, I've got quite a good base here, and I've picked up a few of the things that came in with the last update. Some of the cooking items. I haven't really been able to do much with them because obviously I'm 286 days into this playthrough. A lot of stuff has ruined or just isn't around, so I haven't been able to really cook a lot. A few things have been a little bit useful though, and I'm going to be taking some of this with me. I want to try and carry as much as I can, just so I can do one trip. I don't really want to have to do multiple runs here, but equally I don't want to waste anything. You can see I've actually got some meat here. There's a good chance that I will probably come back here, so that's fine. I haven't quite got level 5. I haven't quite got level 5 of the cooking feat. I'm very close to it, so once I hit that I can actually eat 0% ruined food. But all this is raw anyway, so if I cook it, it'll immediately jump to 50%, even if it's ruined, so not a major issue. I've got a lot of kit here. I've got some hides and things I don't worry too much about. I found a skillet. I'm trying to remember if I've got another one floating about somewhere. I might actually have one at Mystery Lake, I can't remember, but I'm going to have to take it with me. I've got a couple of cooking pots, I've got loads of those floating around, but I'll definitely take one with me. I might leave the other one here. 3 bedrolls, as you can see, so obviously 2 of them will stay put. And we'll see where we are. So I'm going to try and take... I think I'm going to do my initial... This is what I usually do when I'm getting ready to move. I'll kind of grab everything that I sort of can, and then we'll see what I've got left when I actually come to go. So I'm already spraying risk, so we're already over.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
I'm literally going to grab everything that's here, or most of what's here, can't remember if I've got another storm lantern. I'm going to grab it. Lantern fuel I'm going to grab. Not too bothered about that, so I don't really do any gunsmithing. I am going to have that because I have been playing around with bows and arrows in this run. I think I haven't put anything over there. Firewood I want to take a little bit of, but probably not loads, just a little. I'll grab the skillet and I'll grab a cooking pot, and I'll obviously grab my bedroll because that's quite key. And we'll take some, well, I'll take a few loads of water and meat, and obviously I've got loads of cooking materials here, most of which is ruined, but you can still cook with it. And I've also got a lot of sort of tinned food and things like that. In Mystery Lake, I actually have got quite a lot of food stockpiled, so I probably don't really need to take any of this with me. I can probably, because it's all quite heavy, I could probably leave it here. I will be assuming I don't die, of course, I will be coming back here at some point. So let's see where we are. I'm 12 kilos over. That's no good because I've got a rope climb to get down. So, as you can probably tell, I don't really go for well-fed as a tactic. I tend to hibernate, so I don't ever go for well-fed. So first of all, let's just have a look and see if there's anything obvious I can ditch. Well, I've got 2 storm lanterns, so I don't need 2 storm lanterns. Let's ditch. Let's ditch a storm lantern. We don't need 2. Let's get rid of that. So that's an easy win. Let's not bother carrying that book. I don't really need 2 knives or 2 hatchets, so we'll drop those. So this is bringing our weight down. I've got 2. I didn't realise I had 2 revolvers. Okay, that's fine. Don't need that one then. Get rid of that. Keep my fairly sizable stack of ammunition though. I don't want to lose that. I don't really use these, so I'll get rid of that. Charcoal, although they're stones. Probably don't really need it. I certainly don't need that recycled can because I'm actually carrying a cooking pot with me. Okay, let's have a quick look through some of the other stuff. See, well, that I'll eat before I set off, so that's fine. 29 cattail stalks. I've got a ton of cattail stalks dotted around in all sorts of places. Most of them are at camp office. I don't think I've put any here. I may just need to check because I might have put some stuff in that backpack actually. That's a good point. I probably should have done all this prep before starting to do this video. Oh yes, I did put a load of them in there. Ooh, I could do with taking them back with me. A lot of these I can probably leave behind. I don't really do any gunsmithing. If I do, I can always come and get these, so I'll leave them here. These I'll leave, these I'll leave, that I'll leave, that's fine. So I'm 8 kilos over. But I do like to make sure I've got the cattail stalks because they are pretty good food. Particularly when you're a hibernator, as I am. You don't need a lot of food when you're a hibernator. You only need about 600 calories a day. 550, 600 calories a day when you hibernate. So they are pretty good for travelling with because they don't attract predators and things like that. The skillet is a kilo, that's a kilo, that's a kilo. Pry bar, I think I could probably live without. I don't mind too much not having that. So that drops a kilo off. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. Well, we don't need that. Let's get rid of that. We've got the skill. I don't really want to leave those behind because they're sort of rather valuable. I will take that because it's not very heavy. Let's see what we got here. Probably don't need to take 2 of those. They're a bit weighty, so we'll get rid of one of those. I'm 6 kilos over now. The problem is I've got a rope climb, so I can't be anything over. I've got to be below. I've got 9 kilos of water, so I suppose I can drop a lot of that water, but I can drop it up in the little hut before you go down the rope climb. If you know Mountain Town, you'll know where I mean. I'm thinking I probably don't need that. If I just refill my storm lantern, and it's fairly full anyway, if I just refill that, I can probably ditch this, so that'll save me a little bit. Okay, I'm happy that we can travel with what we've got. I could probably drop one of these as well. Don't really need those. Let's get rid of those. Screw it. Okay, so we're down to 5.3 kilos overweight. I actually probably need to drink. I've just thought, actually. Yeah, I do. So that gets rid of some of the water. And of course, a kilo of the meat is going to go because I'm going to eat it before I set off. So actually, we're not in bad shape. I'm going to eat that because I don't want to waste it. That gives me calories for my journey, and that means I'm only 3.6 over, so I can actually ditch the water here. If I just do 4 litres, that gets us below. So there we are. Good to go. And I think we've pretty much got everything that I'd want to take with me. Don't need any of that stuff that I've dropped there. I've got spare knives, spare revolver. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. So I think we're in good shape. I'll leave that cooking pot there because I've got tons of them. So we're going to head to Mystery Lake now. I need to keep a bit of a sharp eye on my time. I've got a cleaning day today. I'm in the house on my own. I've got a lot of cleaning to do, so this video might be a bit bitty because I'm sort of filming it in little short bursts in between cleaning. And since I don't want to have to resync the voiceover track, if I do pause, the voiceover, it's gonna be quite a comical editing job. This one, I think, if I do stop anywhere. Okay, so radio tower, you can see this. There's two radio beacons here now because the again the DLC little, I'll say mini game, mini quest if you like, has come on board. So we've got the fuses to repair and all that kind of good stuff, which I don't actually have any of the spares for. I'm trying to remember if I actually electrocuted myself with one of these. I think I may have done. I can't remember. You need spare parts, to which I haven't completely got yet. And I also haven't been to the far territories to get the radio receiver, so it's pretty useless anyway at the moment. But that's part of the DLC. Okay, so we're going to head down the hill. So, you'll see how my tactics have evolved a little bit if you watch any of my really old videos, most of which I'm going to have a sort through this channel. This channel started as a bit of a random exercise when I had my PS4 and I randomly decided to upload a video from Fallout 4, and it kind of went from there, but a lot of the content is a bit naff. So I think this channel's gonna have a clear out. We're gonna get rid of some of the really old stuff, and we'll probably focus a bit more on tutorially and sort of random stuff, I think. But we'll keep some of this long dark, more recent long dark content. But you'll see how my tactics have evolved a little bit. I'm a hibernator, which I never really used to do. I try to avoid wolves now. I'd like to think I'm a little bit better at avoiding confrontation with them, because it is just a waste of resources, to be honest. You know, it might seem sort of bravado, gung-ho, whatever, to go just head first into the wolf pack and fighting them off and whatever, but it is a bit of a waste of resources when you think about it. And in a game like this, it's all about managing your resources. That's why I've got so many rounds of rifle ammunition left. And this isn't even all of the revolver ammunition. This isn't even all of the revolver ammunition I've got. I've actually got tons of it back at Mystery Lake. And I think I even left some in Forsaken Airfield, you know, because there was too much to carry. Because I haven't really been using the firearms particularly. I've also learned a little bit more about how some of the key dynamics of the game work. Like when you're hunting bleed out and bleed out times and things like that, and I'm far better now at taking advantage of that so I don't waste ammunition. If you watch some of my earlier playthroughs, you'll see that I kind of will take 4 or 5 shots at a target and waste 4 or 5 rounds of ammunition, when actually if I hit it on the first one, I could just wait for it to bleed out. Deer, that's actually a doe, which again is another change that's come in with the more recent updates. So that one's not part of the DLC, that's actually part of the free stuff. Okay, so we're already underweight, we haven't got to worry about that. We've got a rope climb to do on the other side as well. So we've got a drop down this one and we've got to climb up the other one, but energy wise we're okay, we should be fine. I have inadvertently done this before and forgotten to bring my bedroll with me. Oh, these are the ptarmigans, which I haven't tried to hunt yet, actually. Haven't tried to hunt them yet. This is actually a really good day for travelling. I didn't actually check what the weather was doing before I started to try and film this video. I just sort of rolled with it, but weather-wise it's actually really good. It would have been hilarious if I'd have done all that build-up and then when we went to walk out the door it was a full-blown blizzard. So it's actually pretty good weather. Okay, so I'm going to carry on trekking towards Mystery Lake now. I think if you know the Long Dark or you've seen videos before, you know the route. So I won't bother showing you the whole route unless anything interesting happens. To be honest, I think it is a little bit of a trek, and you probably know where we're going. So. Okay, well, welcome back to Mystery Lake. Weather is still good, so we've got Trapper's Cabin over there. No point going there, absolutely nothing in it. Whoa, hi bear. I've completely stripped out Trapper's Cabin, absolutely nothing in there at all, so no point going in there. I was going to go that way, but there's a bear there, so let's go this way. We'll go... There's a few different ways to get between this area, Trapper's Cabin, and wherever. And back to Camp Office, which is where my main base is. I'm not really equipped to tackle a bear. I haven't actually brought a bear down in this run yet. I brought a moose down. As you can see, you may have spotted in my inventory I've got a moose hide satchel, but I haven't brought a bear down so far. But that is partly because I haven't actually even tried. Oh, is that a wolf? Oh, it's several wolves. Oh. Well, this is quite a fun situation we've walked into, isn't it? Bears to the left of me, wolves to the right, and here we are stuck in the middle. Or more accurately, sneaking around the edge. So this is one of the tactic changes. You can probably see that I do have a more cautious approach, a little bit more avoidance rather than confrontation with predators than I used to. I used to kind of just roll with it and go for it, but now I don't do that. And that's partly because I have adopted this kind of more long-term survival approach, and my goals tend to be duration. That came off the back of the big run that I did, which was a completely offline run, but I think I did... I can't remember if I did a bit of a guide or a bit of a tour. I think I did a tour of my bases for that playthrough. I think that was the last video I did, actually. I did a tour of my bases. That was just before the big update where Foreign Territories first came out, which would have been at the beginning of this year or tail end of last year. You could tell that time has no meaning for me anymore. Sleep deprivation does that to you. But that playthrough actually reached 750 days just before the big update hit. Originally I was aiming for 100 with that one. Then I was aiming for... That's a branch, isn't it? Tree limb. I was aiming for 100 days, which was my elusive target that I'd always completely failed to achieve. I achieved that, and then I sort of thought, well, what's next? Well, the next achievement is 500, so I'm going to go for that, and I achieved that. And I thought, well, what can I do next? There's no more achievements for duration. But then I decided, well, I'd heard about this playthrough, this save that was this sort of erasure of the save games that was coming up. So I just thought, I'll try and go as far as I can. And then go out in a blaze of glory in a really difficult region. I ended up in Blackrock, hitting 750 days, and actually in a good position to just keep on going. I was hoping I could hit 1,000 before the save changes came in, but unfortunately I didn't quite make it. Right, we are going to get clocked by these wolves. There's no way we're not. Be amazed if these wolves don't clock us, because we're sort of funneling into the same little area here. Yeah, there we go. Well, again, we've got two tactics here. We can keep on trucking, because if I just keep moving, it ain't going to catch us. Which is part of the behaviour that I have actually learnt of how wolves behave in the Long Dark, is as long as you keep moving like this, they will not catch you. Unless, of course, they've changed something, and I end up looking like an idiot in the next couple of minutes. If you just keep on moving, they cannot catch you. They won't catch up with you. They will just keep stalking you at that kind of respectful distance. So you won't be able to lose them if you just keep walking. If you sprint, you can potentially lose them. But if you keep walking, they will just keep pace with you. So they'll never catch you. Obviously, that is a bit of a dangerous tactic, because if you happen to walk headlong into another wolf pack, and you've then got some behind you and some in front of you, then you are stuck. Because they're coming at you from both directions. There's no way you can walk away from them. But if you're in fairly familiar territory where you know where you are and you know where you're going and you're going to get to shelter pretty soon, it's relatively safe to just keep on going. Just keep checking behind you occasionally just to make sure that they're not sneakily getting closer. But you can see it's tracking me, but it's not catching me up. It is something that I am worried that one of these days they're going to change, and I am going to do this and get caught by somebody. Because I always used to scare the wolves off, and now I don't do it. I generally don't do it. I don't scare them off by shooting weapons at them. I don't waste time. You can see it's tracking me. It can take shortcuts though, so bear that one in mind. It can catch you up a little bit. I'm going to do a sprint. Again, it will run to keep up with you, but if you keep sprinting, eventually you'll lose it. But we're in here now anyway. So, Camp Office. You can see I've got a lot of stuff in here in Camp Office. Loads and loads of guts on the floor. It's been a while since I've been in here, actually. I can't remember what I've got and where it is. See, I've got acorns, gathered them from nearby. We've got all sorts of other crafty bits and pieces. We've got some maple saplings and things. Some spare clothing. I don't think I stored anything in here. Anything around here I don't think I have. I think there might be one or two. Yes. Oh, that's an empty potato sack. I've already had the potato out of it and it was rotten, if I remember. You can see how many wolves I've peeled. I'm wearing a wolfskin coat and I've got 6 wolf pelts on the floor, so you can see how well we've done here. If we head upstairs, this is where I've stored the vast majority of the stuff I've got. So we've got firewood up here, we've got a lot of food. You can see it's all ruined meat, but we can cook it and then it's usable. Lots and lots of stockpiled food here as well. We've got some water, we've got some equipment, medical supplies. We've got the flare gun. We got that one from the top of Timberwolf Mountain, I think where it was. I can't remember where it was actually. It might have been up there, it might have been Forsaken Airfield, I can't remember where it was. I have summited Timberwolf Mountain on this. You can see how much ammunition I've got. 53 rounds of revolver, 42 of rifle. There is a rifle floated about somewhere, there it is. I think I've actually got... no, I have only got one rifle. They have changed the rifle distribution. You used to be able to find them quite frequently around the world. So I think in my last run I actually had about 3 or 4 even knocking about that I left in various places. But this is the only one that I've got, and I had to get this from the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. So you had to go up to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. There was no guarantee that's where it was going to be. It could have been somewhere else, but luckily it was there. But yeah, all of the old rifle locations where you were likely to find them don't have them in anymore. They're a lot rarer. So we do have one. I've been looking after it. I've got quite a bit of ammunition for it. You can see how many cooking pots I've got. There's 5 here, 6 I'm carrying in my inventory, 7 that we left behind. I did have a skillet, so I didn't have to bring that skillet with me. Never mind, I did. Right, so the next thing we've got to do is, you can see here, I've got more firewood and all sorts of stuff. The next thing I need to do is decide what I'm going to take back with me to the Far Territories. So I've got a pretty close to limit loadout anyway, so I'm not going to be able to take too much more than I've already got, but I will sort of try and ditch a few things. Things like skillet I probably won't bother taking with me. I don't have many skillet recipes at the moment, and there's a good chance that over in Transfer Pass or in the new region when we get to it, there will be another skillet. So I don't think I'm going to need to bother taking that with me. So I could just drop that one straight off the bat. I will make sure that I take my revolver and revolver ammunition. I might stock that up to 30 just so I've got a nice round number. I probably won't bother taking the flare gun or the flare shells with me. I'll probably leave those here. Obviously I need a bedroll. I prefer to try and take 2 cooking pots if I can, because that obviously doubles my ability to make water. And that means that I can make 4 litres of water, sorry, in one go, which makes life a lot quicker and easier. However, I'm trying to remember if I left one in Transfer Pass. This is one of the problems. It's been a while since I've been in the Far Territories. I stayed in Forsaken Airfield for about 110 days. I believe I was in Forsaken Airfield. And then I came back this way and I've been in this area ever since, but obviously because I'm only playing in sort of half-an-hour chunks here and there, or 20-minute chunks here and there, it's actually been about 6 months since I've been in the real world, since I've been in the Far Territories. So I can't remember what I left there and what I didn't. I've got no chance of remembering. So I should probably make more use of the notes function, actually. General notes, just write down what I put where, so I know where I've got stuff. Because then I can think what I need to take with me and what I don't. So I'll probably take 1 cooking pot with me, rather than 2, and hope that I did actually leave 1 behind, because I can't remember. Right, I need to put this on a skillet somewhere. There we go. So we've got 2 skillets. As you can see, I've got another hatchet, another knife. Hatchets and knives I've got coming out of my ears. I've got loads of those. Cooking pots, you can see how many I've got. Rifles. Revolvers, there seems to be a reasonable number. As you notice, I have 1 back in the cave there. And I did actually have another one here. And I'm pretty sure I've got a 3rd one somewhere that I've left. Or a 4th one somewhere that I've left. You see how much food I've got. So, I think my next challenge is going to be to just sort out my loadout. It's going to be making sure I've got enough food, travelable food with me, the ability to make water, which basically means making sure I've got fire starting materials, and firewood, although we can collect that as we go. Making sure I've got enough initial water just to get me through the first sort of little bit. Obviously, the initial step that we're going to do, I think this is going to be a 2-parter, so I'm going to wrap this up here, I think, because I am running out of time as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll get myself ready to go from here, from camp office, and I'll show you what my loadout is at the start of part 2, and then we'll trek. Now, the trek's going to be in 2 parts, because obviously the Far Territory trek is actually relatively simple if you've never done it, but we've got to get from Mystery Lake over to Broken Railroad before we're able to start heading over to the Far Territories, and that is a little bit more of a trek. We've got to get across Forlorn Muskeg, and we've got to get across we've got to get across Broken Railroad to get into the Far Territories. Part of me is thinking, let's just do the 2 in one go, get into the Far Territories and rest up once we're in the initial part of the transfer. But part of me wants to rest up in Broken Railroad before we start, so I can do the whole of Far Territory in one go. So this could be interesting. We're getting to the end of the day in the Long Dark, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here. So sorry, this has been a little bit shorter than I had intended, and I'd hoped to try and do the whole thing in one hit, but I think it'll be worth it. We'll try and do a second part to this, and I'll probably release the 2 together, see how we get on for time, and we'll do a trek over to the Far Territories. But I am going to say thank you for joining me for a bit of a random video, nothing particularly spectacular, but a little bit of a walk through the Long Dark. You can see the bases that I've got and some of the tactics that I'm starting to use, and hopefully in the next video we can do the full trek across to the Far Territories. So if you don't know where you're going, hopefully that'll help you. And also, you'll see some of the tactics I use on the road. But right now, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you again, hopefully, very, very soon.